Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria won't be close. This fight just got announced on UFC... Wait a minute. It hasn't been announced. Oh, what's this? Ilia Topuria wants to fight Brian Ortega? He wants to fight Alexander Volkanovski again? Absolutely not. We have a clear contender in the featherweight division, and it's Max Holloway. Not Brian Ortega, not Volkanovski, Max Holloway. He deserves to fight for the title again. Max Holloway is on a 3-fight win streak over some monsters. Arnold Allen, Korean Zombie, which, I know it's not the greatest, but, whatever. And Justin Gaethje. That is the big one. He knocked out Justin Gaethje cold and completely dismantled him on the feet. One of the most exciting lightweights on the planet, and he completely dismantled him. Now look, I do see Alexander Volkanovski's case for getting another title shot, but, it's a little shaky. On one hand, Volk is 1-3 in his last 4 fights, but Volk also had a very dominant featherweight run, so it's up in the air. But look, me personally, and this might be my bias here, I think Max Holloway should get the title shot over Alexander Volkanovski. And let's not even talk about Brian Ortega. He does not deserve a title shot at all. Keep him away from the title. He needs a couple more fights. So let's get back to Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. This is one of the best fights the UFC could put on right now. This fight would sell thousands of pay-per-views. Everybody wants to see Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. And when this fight happens, Holloway will defeat Ilia Topuria and win back his UFC featherweight title. Holloway has all of the advantages in this fight. Max Holloway is taller. After this nice clean bulk up to 155, he'll be physically bigger than Ilia Topuria. And they have an equal reach. Max Holloway is a very proven fighter, and he has a ton of experience in championship fights. He also has a higher level of competition. I could see Ilia Topuria maybe winning the first round or two, but he would get overwhelmed by Max Holloway's pressure. And it's not like Ilia Topuria is going to be able to knock out Max Holloway. If Justin Gaethje couldn't do it, nobody can. That chin is unbreakable. The best you can get is Justin Gaethje knocking him down for a split second, and then he gets right back up. If this fight goes past round 3, it's over for Ilia Topuria. There's no way he can win round 3, 4, 5 of this fight. And Ilia Topuria will not be able to be dominant enough in the first 2 rounds to get a 10-8. So his path to victory is very limited. You might say, well, Ilia Topuria could try to grapple with him, wrestle him, but Max Holloway's anti-wrestling is just too good, and all that's going to do is drain Ilia Topuria's gas tank even more, leaving him more susceptible to get swarmed by Max Holloway. Because Ilia Topuria's only path to victory here is in a high-pace, grinding, high-energy bout, and you can't play that game with Max Holloway. Max Holloway is going to take Ilia Topuria out, and guys, we have to stop doubting Max Holloway. Every single fight, everyone always says, okay, this is going to be the one where Max Holloway's chin finally cracks and breaks. But you can't doubt this man anymore, especially after fighting Justin Gaethje. I don't think you guys understand. If Justin couldn't do it, nobody can. And guys, Ilia Topuria is scared of the Max Holloway fight. Did you guys see his reaction to the Holloway-Gaethje KO? He looked terrified. He knows that Max Holloway is coming for him. Max Holloway is genuinely one of the most impressive UFC fighters of all time. The evolution of his game is absolutely mind-blowing. He's a completely different fighter from the 3rd Alexander Volkanovski fight. And Max Holloway has officially unlocked his power, and he's putting people away now. The whole featherweight division is put on notice right now. I'm really excited for the future of the featherweight division because I think this is the moment Max Holloway is going to go on a second dominant title run. And guys, Max Holloway deserves that more than anybody. He's such a good guy, and he's a great fighter. And he's only 32 as well, which is shocking because he's been around this game for such a long time. He has 29 fights in the UFC, and he's literally fought everybody. And his fan base is strong and loyal. But what about Ilia Topuria's fan base? Just a bunch of bandwagoners, that's it. Us Holloway bros have been on the Blessed Express for years, and we followed him through ups and downs in his career, and now we are so back, we are so up, it's going to be Max Holloway for life. He's taken over the featherweight division again. And look at how humble Max Holloway is. He hasn't given up. When he lost to Volkanovski 3 times, I mean, he could have just given up there, but he kept on fighting contenders like Yair Rodriguez and Arnold Allen. And for a long time, Max Holloway was in a really bad position because he didn't really have anywhere he could go. He couldn't get another featherweight title shot. He couldn't get a title shot at lightweight because there's no way he could beat Makhachev. So he was screwed for a long time until recently. Now he has the BMF title. This gives him some pull now. He can do stuff. And Holloway's at this inflection point in his career. He has 2 options he can go down: money fights or GOAT status. Let me start with the GOAT status timeline. Now, obviously, he has to beat Ilia Topuria. So what will he do after he beats Topuria? I'm thinking Max Holloway fights Brian Ortega in a rematch. If Brian Ortega gets another win, then Holloway can fight the next contender after that. And then after he beats that contender, there needs to be a rematch with Alexander Volkanovski. Now, I know it would be the 4th time they fought, and Volk has already beaten him 3 times. But if Max Holloway ever wants to get that GOAT status, he needs to beat Alexander Volkanovski sometime within his career. At least once.
I beat that guy 1 time.
And then finally, once he's beaten Volkanovski, he should move up to lightweight and fight for a 2nd belt. And if Max Holloway can do that, he will become the GOAT of the UFC. He will become the greatest fighter of all time. And if that's not enough for you, maybe if he defends the title at lightweight 1 more time, then that's enough. That's actually more than enough to be considered the GOAT of the UFC.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
But that's not necessarily the best for business, the best for money. And I'm not gonna lie, the GOAT timeline isn't really a realistic possibility. But this one that I'm about to explain is a realistic timeline. So it starts off the same. Max Holloway beats Ilia Topuria. But then, if Conor McGregor beats Michael Chandler, he should challenge McGregor for a BMF title fight. That fight would break the internet. And honestly, I think it could also break the pay-per-view record. Max Holloway would make millions of dollars off that fight. And then, if Max Holloway can beat Conor McGregor, he needs to challenge Dustin Poirier to a BMF title fight as well. These 2 fights would make Max Holloway filthy rich and could potentially make Max Holloway into a UFC superstar. But for this timeline to become reality, a lot of things would have to go right. Conor McGregor would have to beat Michael Chandler, which is kind of a big ask because we don't know where Conor McGregor is at this moment in terms of his skill.
Once.
And he hit me with a door. Other than that, it was absolutely perfect.
That's true.
An amazing stunt team, Garrett Warden and Steve Brown, and they were phenomenal with us. They gave us free reign.
But me personally, I think Conor McGregor can get it done against Michael Chandler, so I think it's very likely that we see Holloway versus McGregor in a BMF title fight. And then what would really shoot Max Holloway into superstardom is if Dustin Poirier can somehow beat Makhachev. I don't know what he does. Maybe he sprays some Louisiana hot sauce into his face, or he's finally able to finish the notorious Poirier guillotine. But if that's somehow able to happen and Dustin Poirier has the title, he would have to defend that title against Max Holloway after he beat Conor McGregor. Both these fights, the Conor McGregor versus Holloway fight and the Dustin Poirier versus Holloway fight, would break over 1 million pay-per-views. For sure, confirmed. But we have to hope that we can make it into that timeline, because honestly, it's not very likely. But it is still a possibility. So those are the 2 paths Max Holloway could take after he beats Ilia Topuria, which I'm very confident happens, which you can see because I spent half this video explaining what Max Holloway is going to do after he beats Ilia Topuria. But hey, listen, this is just my opinion, which, you know, who cares, right? What's more important is your opinion. I want to know your opinion in the comments down below. What did you think of my take? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think Ilia Topuria destroys Max Holloway? Or do you think Max Holloway beats Ilia Topuria, but it's closer than what I think it's going to be? I'm genuinely curious, and I want to know what your guys' opinions and takes on this situation is. Also, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think Max Holloway should do after he beats Ilia Topuria? Should he go down this money timeline? Should he go down the legacy timeline? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, you are literally the greatest person I've ever met ever. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the LSFC YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.